Hello, hello, and welcome to the Joy Link, where we empower and inspire you to connect in joy. I'm your co-host, Brian, and I'm joined by the ever amazing Julia. And today we're going to be talking about money and our relationship to money. So, do you think money will bring you happiness? Or how often do you really think about your relationship to money? Those and other things we're going to get into today. So definitely thanks for joining in. Thank you for your time. We definitely appreciate you tuning in.
So this episode, it will be amazing. You will learn a lot about what money actually is, what is the currency behind it, and how joy is related to money. You would be surprised because there are so many beliefs called limiting beliefs about money that it doesn't bring happiness and whatnot. But of course, it depends how you look at it. So you will learn something about that today. You will learn about concept of spiritual economics and how to get a lot of money. This will be covered in that episode as well. And wait until the end for the task of the week. And today you will get not one, but two, which is great. And that this will help you implement what you learned into practice, and that will make you the most out of your time. So listen in.
Yes, so the first thing is we're going to be talking about the ultimate currency, which I'm saying is joy, right? And I definitely want to start by saying I'm not a financial advisor, yet I do understand what real wealth is and how to get it. And so when the focus is solely on making money, well, then you really forget why you're doing it in the first place, right? You can lose your purpose chasing after those numbers, and life becomes very flat and surface level happy. It gets really fakey, right? Like that is what science is saying is extrinsic happiness, right? Having lots of money, wanting to impress people, being famous and being hot and all that stuff, right? And so we're looking to create intrinsic, long-lasting joy that has a ton of money connected to it, right? So then we've got that intrinsic motivation. And that is really growing in all areas of our life, connecting and making meaningful relationships, and also making an impactful contribution to the world, right? And so we can look at Seneca for this, right? He's one of the wealthiest people in ancient Rome and a Stoic philosopher. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing, what difference does it make if you reach a certain position or have all the money and you don't like yourself? He knew he had to dedicate himself to the truths that he knew and let everything else be a byproduct of his actual vision. So the scientific research confirms this as well, stating that you'll be less happy the more you focus on that intrinsic happiness, and you'll have less money. You'll make less money as well, right? Because it's more surface level. It's more fakey, right? And so some of us have to really learn that lesson along the way, and that's okay. There's really room for that. Yet, just to put it in perspective with one more point, we've got Ray Dalio, and he's one of the 100th richest people in the world. And he confirms this as well. He says he didn't do anything, he didn't go after money. He wanted to have meaningful work and great relationships. And money is the fuel that optimizes his work, right? So it's a byproduct. And so it was something that he felt called to do, and money was coming because of it. So, yeah, the moral of that story is to simply look within to find that deeply passionate thing that you love and you want to do every single day. And that thing is directly connected to all the money you'll ever need, right? Because it's aligned with what you love and you're going all in on it day to day, moment to moment. And there's a lot of joy in there as well.
Okay, so what are you saying when people are motivated by external factors, like driven by to have the most money as possible? It's not what actually brings the joy and fulfillment is when you are following the joy and fulfillment, then the money is following.
Hallelujah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally. There is so many limiting beliefs about money. Like what is a belief? So belief, it's a certain statement that we hold in our mind. And limiting beliefs is usually a belief that we have, right? But it doesn't really help us grow. And from my experience, my personal experience and working with my clients on their businesses, it's I'm always saying that when you start your own business, it's like an accelerator in terms of your personal growth, because it's impossible to not come across some beliefs or limiting beliefs. You are kind of hitting the wall, and then it's like you need to break out through it. So basically, I do think that in the area of money, there are enormous amount of limiting beliefs because we are pre-programmed from our families. Maybe when you were little, you heard like, what do you think? Like we are Rockefellers, or money doesn't grow on the trees, or if you have a lot of money, then you stole it, or that only bad people have the money, or like the money is the root of all evil and whatnot. So there is a lot, but also like the beliefs can support your joy in life. So for example, I'm getting well paid doing what I love, right? That is my current belief, right? The more money I have, the more I can give to others. The more money I have, the more joyful I can become. Let's say the more money I have, the more I can talk about joy with Brian on the podcast because I don't need to work, right? So there is so many things about it. And actually, I have a task for you to check it out on your own, and maybe something is coming up. So I will read 5 statements about that they are quite popular, what people are believing about money. Maybe you believe it as well. And I would like you to rate it from 1 to 10. 1, it's 100% when you disagree with that. And 10, it's when you 100% agree with that. So I will read 5 sentences, and just after each sentence, you say like in your head, is it 1 or 10? Brian, you do it as well because we'll be talking afterwards. So
Okay, super.
the first statement is, most rich people probably did something bad or dishonest to get their money. Think about how you feel about it. Is it 1, disagreement, 100%, or 10, agreement? Second statement, having a lot of money will make me less spiritual or pure. Third statement, I think I hit the jackpot with Brian, but let's having a lot of money is a big responsibility. The fourth statement, realistically, chances are I will never be rich. The fifth statement, striving for wealth won't allow much time for anything else in life. Okay, so that was 5 statements. How do you feel about them? Did some were neutral to you? Did some like bring up some emotions, some resistance? So yeah, like Brian, have you agreed with something the most? What statement, which statement got the highest number?
But one I agreed with was the third statement. I had a 9.
Okay, and the third statement was having a lot of money, it's a big responsibility.
That's it. Yes. Yeah, that's a very big responsibility.
Okay, that's amazing. Let's talk about it. So,
Yeah.
So now you will hear something. This exercise I really like. It's called like a devil's advocate,
Right.
right? So, Brian, I will say that belief, right? I will say having a lot of money is a big responsibility, and you need to argue why it's not.
Why it's not a big responsibility.
Yes. Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah, and I can help you. We will have a discussion just for the podcast sake. Okay,
Right.
Brian, I think having a lot of money, it's a big responsibility. Therefore, I'm not going to raise prices in my business. I'm not going to take more clients, and I won't invest into certain things because money, it's too big of the responsibility.
Well, really, money doesn't have to be all that big a responsibility, right? If we think it's hard, it's going to be hard. we can also argue that having a lot of money makes life easy and it makes it so you don't have to think about all that stuff. So why can't that be true as well?
Yeah, and also when it comes to what is the responsibility coming to money, is it distributing the money? Is it dealing with money? I think if you have a lot of money, you can always hire help, right? Someone who will help you deal with that money.
Right. Yeah, there are tons of people that help you deal with a lot of money.
Yeah, and how about when you have a lot of money, what can you make a greater impact?
Of course you can. Yeah.
Mm. So when you think about like having a lot of money, it's a big responsibility, right? But it's also a big opportunity to make a long-lasting impact in the world.
Right. Yeah. And that responsibility can also be delegated to highly trained professionals in the financial world so that it doesn't have to be a big responsibility for you, let's say. So that opens the door to more money, right?
Okay, so Brian, if I will read this sentence again, having a lot of money, it's a big responsibility. How do you score it?
Much slower. I think it would be like a 4 now.
Well done. So this is what is it about? Like
Right.
you will get the task of the week based on that. But this is what is it about that you find a belief about money. It can be limiting beliefs and you try to argue against yourself in your head to find all the reasons why it's not. Because if you will be living that having a lot of money, it's a big responsibility, then you won't make money that you want to make and you will always keep yourself smaller, right? So this is what is it all about. It is quite simple when you look at it, but
Right.
it's important, like this awareness. And actually I think this what we will be talking more about on our Facebook live and Instagram live this week, so join in. It will be joining from our Instagram accounts that you can find in the show notes.
Yeah, so those limiting beliefs and confronting those, right, really addressing it head on is a way so that you can create awareness around it so then they won't hold you back anymore. Because there are tons of lessons in there for us when we confront them. And so we just found one for me right there. It's like a big responsibility. No, it's not. Right. And
Well done. Yeah.
yeah. So that's how we can really reprogram our minds because we have that programming from when we were little, from our parents and everyone around us in our community around money. Yeah, we can choose what we want that program to be, right? And we can create more joy and generosity. And even when we're looking at those limiting beliefs, we could also use Chat GPT to put our question in there and argue along with us, right? Because there could be some perspectives in there that come up and be like, well, right? They can play devil's advocate really well. Part of those limiting beliefs and are some really key terms that we can use some reprogramming around. And so there are 3 different words that I would like to just take a bit of a deep dive into so that we can really understand them and reprogram them. Right? And so this is part of the spiritual economics. And the first word is prosperity. How normally people think is that, prosperity is how much money you make. Yet the origin of the word is really the ability to move forward with hope. And so that goes back to the science of hope. So when you know your future is going to be better than your present, and you have the power to make it so, well, that creates agency. And when you have the willingness to try different pathways to get there, well, then prosperity and money can now come in. And so the only time when you're really poor is when you have the poverty consciousness. And that's when you lose hope. And so we can get out of that by just flipping a switch, right? Know that our future is going to be better than what it is now. That creates hope. And then know we can do something about it. And we're going to do whatever it takes to make it so. And then all we have to do is enjoy the process, right? So that's prosperity. For affluence, that's our second term, right? It's not really around the stuff or the fancy cars or the jewelry or the the expensive bags and all that stuff. It means more about abundant flow, right? And so that could be like an abundant flow of kindness and generosity, right? And even extending that joy to others. And all of us have that positive energy that's available to us at all times. So we can get into that affluent flow anytime we want to, right? It's not about the things, it's about the flow of positive energy, right? And then the last term is security, right? Because people, can get a bit anxious around, oh, do I have enough? And all this scarcity idea around security. Yet when you take a look at the definition of security, it's really to be without care. And so that's a really psychological thing. So if you think you need, let's say, X amount of euros or dollars in your account to feel secure, well, then that's actually coming from an insecure mindset, right? So when you have an intense trust in yourself, well, that's the ultimate security, right? It's not about the bank account, right? It's a consciousness thing. So when you can meet any challenge that comes along your way and like good things will come to you, then you have that security. And these redefinitions come from a book by Eric Butterworth that's called Spiritual Economics. And what he says is that don't seek money, seek the consciousness where that naturally flows. So that creates conscious control of our life and really empowers us, right? And the way Ray Dalio says, well, it's a byproduct of doing those meaningful things and having those really great relationships as well.
Wow. So I really love it, the redefinition of prosperity, affluence, and security. This is so good. And actually, something came to my mind that, it's quite common knowledge. For me as a business strategist, I deal a lot with that. And I know a lot of cases that, I think pretty much every single multi-millionaire or billionaire have been ever financially challenged before, like going through a lot of wealth and then losing it all, but they are always making it back because they have this security within them, where regular person would probably panic and freaked out. They have this security, like it's a matter of time, right? That is this, yeah, this is such a different mindset, and that's what is the like this abundant mindset versus scarcity mindset. So it's a super interesting point to make. So yeah, and I'll definitely look into the book, and we will write it in the show notes. I'm doing my best to write all the additional resources in the notes, but also I just want to say that if you enjoy what we're talking about and you find the value in it and you want to do something nice for us, you can always get us a cup of coffee. That we always appreciate that, and it's on buymeacoffee.com/joyling. There are also info about it in the notes. So I just want to say that money is neutral, right? It's when you look at money without whatever you think about it, without limiting beliefs, money is neutral. And yes, some people believe that money is waste. Some people believe that money is evil. There is no right or wrong. It's neutral. It's just energy, but it does magnify who you are. If you are an asshole, money makes you a bigger asshole. If you are a kind, loving, generous person, wow, you can use money for that as well. So, and also, like I said at the beginning, that we will teach you how to have a lot of money, right? So listen up. This is how you have a lot of money. To have a lot of money, and this is coming, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm a business strategist. So, and none of my clients, it's coming from me like, oh, I want to be like super rich. No, they always coming with like, I love this thing and I want to make it work, and then I can help. Otherwise, I won't even take the client on. But if you want to make a lot of money, probably you need to start your business or find yourself in the right spot, like maybe startup. But overall, that's the rule of thumb. But every business, it's about exchange. You exchange value, something that is being found of value for the money. And if you choose to exchange something that you are really, really good at and you are passionate about and you have so much joy around it, people will be naturally drawn to your service. Because just think about it, who would you like to work with? Someone who is like, oh, why did you even come here? Or like, oh my God, I cannot wait to help you. What can I do for you? I hope you choose the second person. If not, get back to limiting beliefs. And basically, the more value you provide to the larger amount of people, the more money you have. So when you have a type of service that you provide to one person versus to 10, versus to 100, versus to 10,000, versus to 1,000,000, can you see how it can escalate pretty quickly? So the more value you provide to larger amount of people, the more money you have. And that's pretty much the ultimate formula, how to be rich. So yeah, it's all about value you provide to others.
Yeah, and I second that 100%. Money is neutral, and it really just magnifies who you are around that circulation of it. And money is really an exchange of value. And when you combine something that you're passionate about along with that, well, then you can add value to other people's lives, right? And the more value you add, the bigger results you get. So, what is that thing, right? What is it that you're deeply passionate about, and how can you bring that forward,
Yeah,
right?
and if you don't know
Exchanging,
how, and if you don't know how, you can literally message me because this is what I do for a living.
right?
That's my value that I give to the world. It's using my talents to help others to bring up their value and connect with others. That's pretty much my definition of business. So it's quite interesting. What comes around goes around, right?
That is it exactly. Yeah, and that also takes us into our next point, which is about circulation instead of spending. What do you think about when you use your money to buy things, right? It's either spending or you're circulating. And it's a very powerful difference in thinking about our relationship with money. And so you go from, well, I spent this and now it's gone and now I have less, to a more infinite experience of just money that's being circulated, which is more really literally what's going on, right? We're receiving abundance that you can then circulate and give to someone else, right? We're just circulating money. And when you look at where money really comes from, it's not from companies and think, no, it's from other people. And so we're just circulating money. You can think of it like breath, right? It goes in and it goes out. And this is something that we circulate for the rest of our life, right? And so finding joy in that circulation is key. And all we have to do is develop the consciousness where it naturally and abundantly flows in. Yeah, then that would lead us to the task of the week.
The number one task of the week.
We want to apply a meta gratefulness practice around all of our transactions. So whenever you buy something this week, think about the interconnectedness of everything that's involved in you receiving that thing, and you can simply give thanks. So a simple example is, let's say you go out to a cafe and you get a salad. And when it arrives, you can definitely be grateful to the server who brought it to you. Thank you very much. This looks really good. Yet you can then think about it in a wider sense. You can be grateful for that computer system that rang up your order, and then the chef who made it, and the designer who created the menu that you ordered from, right? The buyer who chose those ingredients, and even the farmer who made it. And then you can go into the rain, the sun, the dirt, and literally everything else, including time that it took to grow it. And then let that gratefulness just kind of flood through your system and experience all of that gratefulness that it took to bring that salad to your table, right? Thinking all the anonymous people who you may never meet in your whole life who have put their service and, let's say, blessed you with their service so that you can enjoy that salad right in front of you, right? And so then how we give thanks from that is then to circulate the money and pay for that as a thank you for all of that service. It's not just for the food, but all that energy that was put into it. And then if you want to add a little tip to the bill, well, then you can also put a smiley face on it, right? And then, if you're so inspired to be appreciative for it.
In the way how you say it, as the money is a circulation, and it's like, it seems like it's not like, oh my God, money is all what you have, but it's more like money is the least that I can do, right? Because it's to cover all of that because I understand, and this is something that is quite interesting, that we put value on everything, like monetary value, but so many things you cannot put it on, actually, that it's quite simplified just to put a number, right? That the salad is whatever, 10 euros, 20 euros, but it's quite hard to put it, right? Because how would you, like that, it's quite interesting that we live in the world where we can put a number on everything, right? Even humans' life, which is not the way how it should be in my eyes, but it's quite interesting. So the second task, the second task of the week, I will write down for you in the PDF those 30 the most common limiting beliefs about money, wealth, and rich people. And you can score how you agree or disagree with that on which number. And then this will bring you awareness, and you can start working through it if you want it. If you don't, then don't do it. But the truth is that you will be stuck with the money and your joy in life. So it's up to you. So today we learned so much about money as a different concept and how is it linking to joy. We learned about redefinition of words as prosperity, affluence, and security as a part of spiritual economics. And we talk about money, value, and exchange. And you have 2 tasks to work on. So thank you so much for being here with us today. We appreciate everyone that is you choose to listen to us and not to do 10,000 things that you could be doing. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I think Brian is saying thank you as well.
Yeah, you bet. Definitely. Thanks for tuning in. And you can connect to us on our Facebook and Instagram lives. If you like what we're talking about, then feel free and get us coffee as well. That we definitely appreciate that. And thanks for tuning in. And we will see you on the next one.
Bye. Have a great day.
Enjoy.